to Chats in the Greenhouse. I'm so excited to be back. This is season 3, and this is the first time ever that I'm going to have a guest in the greenhouse. So we have all new video equipment, we have all new setup. Maybe our sound sounds a little bit better. I hope so. So we're still in the greenhouse. We have the idea to build a new greenhouse, but for now this setup is going to work. But we do have, or it's always been me in here, but I have somebody with me today. And I'm super excited to introduce him to you because my first guest in the podcast is going to be my husband, which is Brenton Jarrett.
Hey, glad to be here.
Glad to have you. So, my
Thank you.
first guest is my husband. And so I went to all the viewers and listeners and asked, okay, can you give us Q&A? Can you give us some questions and we can answer those? It's been a long time. People have wanted Brenton on the podcast. So here he is. We have him. So thanks for clearing out your schedule.
You're
A
welcome.
little side
You're
note
welcome.
too.
You're welcome.
Brenton
I
has
feel
been
honored.
up
Yeah.
all night working, doing a job he had to do for the Ford place. So he's a little tired today. So I told him to look alive so he could do this well on this his first appearance here with us today. Okay, so we're gonna dive into some questions that we have from Instagram. I went to
Okay.
Instagram.
Oh boy.
And we're gonna get started on like what some of the listeners have for you.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, let's see. I'm going to go through some of these. Do you have anything you want to say?
I just want to say that I'd like to take the time to tell you that I'm proud of you and you've really pushed through and got all this situated and organized yourself. And now that I get to be the actual first honored guest, I just feel blessed by that.
Aw.
And I feel honored. Yeah, I really
Thank
do.
you.
I really do. I'm not just saying
thank
that
you.
for that, but I'm proud of you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so
I appreciate it. And
you're
this
welcome.
this setup today, we were supposed to do this. It's like 1:00, and we were supposed to do this at like 9:30 this morning. And so this is our first setup with all of this new equipment. Of course, everything went wrong. He blocked out the whole morning to not be doing his contractor job to get us set up and moving in here. Everything went wrong and did not go. Like nothing would come up, right?
Well, we had some technical issues, but
Yeah.
now everything is
Now
updated.
everything's working. We're hoping that it is actually recording, so this will actually be documented. But we really appreciate it.
You're
I
welcome.
really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And
Thank
I
you.
love you lots.
Yeah, I love you too, babe.
And we all know that Brenton is the one who built the greenhouse, which sparked the whole idea for Chats in the Greenhouse in the first place. Okay, first question is, let's see, your birthday.
The first, actually, it's the 5th of December.
Okay.
I've always not really liked my birthday being in December because it's
Of
so close to
Christmas.
Christmas, and everybody's like, "Oh, here's your birthday and Christmas presents together." Well, lo and behold, our son's born 2 days after mine, so at least now we get to share that together.
Yeah.
We get to go to experiences together, trips, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
So your birthday's December 5th.
December 5th.
19. Are we going to share that for your age?
81.
Or no?
Yes, I am
81
43 years old.
81, you heard it here. Brenton's birthday is December 5th, 1981. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we have, what quality do you love most about each other?
The quality that I like most about you is that if you get an idea in your head or a vision in your head, and 95% of the time you have a vision very quickly and you have a plan very quickly, but you are going to do that to the fullest of your extent, no matter what it takes, no matter how much energy, staying up late, so on and so forth, but you are going to do that to your fullest extent. And whoever asks of it or whatever become of it is going to get everything that you possibly have
Done.
towards that
Wow.
idea.
I really would think that would go under one of your least likely things that you liked about me, honestly.
Really?
Because it takes away from you, I guess. Like it takes all that extra time and like you don't know what's coming next. But I guess you're used to it by this point.
I am used to it.
It
yeah.
is good to know that that is the thing that you like
A
about
lot
me,
of
'cause
times
that is the way that I am.
A lot of
For
times
sure.
your ideas include me, and I like spending time with you.
Well, that is true. Okay, so my favorite quality about you would be that you're a hard worker. So it is funny that we're both like, it's our hands-on thing that we
Right.
do love most. I do love that you're a good dad, but I always love like watching you work and whatever I dream up. I couldn't do it without you. So like you are the hands that make it come to life.
Yeah.
Like the greenhouse. Like when you look at this beautiful greenhouse, like I drew it, but I'm just paper. So
Right.
you're the hands that
Yeah.
build it,
Well, our
you know?
saying is, let's make it happen. So.
Yeah. Okay, so this one was funny when I saw this one come in. It says, "How would you describe your wife's fashion style, and what has been your favorite outfit or look?" So first, like, how would you describe my fashion style?
Your fashion style is, I would describe as, I guess you'd say, different.
Yeah, like
Stuff that I would
unexpected.
never go to the store, and stuff that I would go to the store and buy for you, you would never wear, but stuff that you would see randomly here and
You
there.
say that like you are speaking from experience.
I am. I took
Yeah,
our 11-year-old daughter shopping this
yeah.
year before Christmas, and the stuff that I was like, "Mommy would like this," and she's like, "Nope, put it down." So, but you always have a very creative. I'll say you have a very creative style, and it always pulls it off, and you have something that pops in your outfit, and you always get compliments everywhere you go, either your outfit, your shoes, or your hair.
Okay. And then, do you have a favorite look? I would
I
I would
do
say your
have a
least
favorite
is my
look.
shoes that I styled the other day because you were like, "What are those?"
Yeah, with the random ribbon that looks like it got picked up with the vacuum
Those were
cleaner.
really
Yeah.
hitting it on the reels though.
I like
Insta
to
loved
see
it.
you in spring, well, fall, winter, and spring. I like to see you in the overalls or the jumpsuit type things you wear.
Yeah,
And then
which I wear
summer,
those a lot,
you
so
do wear those a
you're
lot.
a
Yeah.
blessed man if you
Yeah,
like
you
those.
do. And then, yeah, I mean, that's probably my favorite outfit. Yeah.
Overalls?
Yeah.
Huh,
I like that.
wow, you got that 2 days this week
Well,
already
you
because
wear
I
them
wore a
good.
lot of
Yeah.
overalls
Yeah.
this week. Okay, so do you like thrifting?
Well, I like thrifting. I don't like the idea of thrifting as far as like hey, let's go thrifting, but when I go with you, we always end up having the best time ever, and we always find some cool stuff. I'm not really so much on the clothes thrifting. I like the items and the home furnishings and stuff like that. So
You like digging to find something good,
a
but
treasure, yeah. I like
yeah.
an antique
Like,
sale.
you like when we go to the
Yeah, I
markets.
like the markets and the antique sales and the yard sales, like in the big open fields, the Liberty sale we go to.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I
like
like.
that, but you
Right,
don't like if I say, "Let's go to Goodwill."
right. Yeah.
You're like, "Yeah, this is not the best day." So let's see. Any advice for the husbands who are nervous to go bold in their interiors, like our house? So a lot of like this question comes through a lot that a lot of wives want to use wallpaper. A lot of wives want to do bold colors in their painting or something besides just like white and gray, just like a
Right.
neutral. A lot of wives want to do that and their husband is straight up like no.
Yeah.
So you really rarely tell me no. I don't know if you've ever told me no in decor or like furniture or anything like that. I'll ask your opinion to be like which one, but you never say no, that's like too bold.
Well, the problem is, I think that a lot of men get stuck in a way, and they don't want to come out of that little shell. And the shell being lazy, sitting on the couch, like, "Hey, I've worked all week. I don't want to do anything to make this house better. I don't. You don't deserve that." But that's not true, because a mother or a wife stays at home and works, even if they don't have a physical job. They work nonstop. So that's your idea of having fun. That's your idea of, hey, let's bring this house to life,
It's
because
like a
this a
refresh
refresh, because you
for
stay in the
women.
house, or you're in the
Yeah.
house a whole lot more than the men. So why not? I mean, why don't a wife deserve that, or a woman deserve that?
Yeah.
And yes, some I mean, I would have never dreamed of putting flowered wallpaper on a wall,
In the
but
dining room.
in the
Yeah.
dining room, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And painting all the other walls black. I
painting the
think a
walls
lot of men would be
black.
like, okay, black equals sin and the devil and just like gothic,
Yeah, but
but it's not
whenever
anymore.
we did that, we were both like, "Wow, this is amazing."
Yeah.
So I just learned to trust your vision over the years, and now it's
Yeah.
like, okay, what am I doing this weekend?
Yeah. You just like go with the flow. Yeah. Um, Another one was, in what way do you feel God led you both as a couple to become entrepreneurs? So for this one is we both were entrepreneurs when we met.
We were
Yeah. So like when we met, I was a hairstylist, so I ran my own like hairstylist business, like
right.
having my own customers, making my own hours. and you started a landscaping business at
the age of 17. So I was a senior in high school and I mowed about
yeah.
75 yards a week.
So we've never not been entrepreneurs. There was
Right.
a very little amount of time. Well, when we met, I was waitressing and doing hair at the same time,
Right.
which I was living off tips, which I feel like a waitress kind of lands in the entrepreneur life sometimes
Yeah.
because it's all about the service they're giving is what they're getting paid.
If you're not an overachiever, you're not going to
Right. You're not going to get a good tip if you don't do a good job. And that's kind of how it is for entrepreneurs
Right.
is you do a good job, you get paid for that job.
100%.
Yeah. And, so on. So we've never not been entrepreneurs. We met, we had the same like go-getter personality type, and that worked really well together.
It did.
And so we've both been, I would say, more of yes people than no people.
100%.
And that always worked. Because if I met someone and they were more of like, that like no, this isn't going to look good, no to everything, like that would not mesh well for my personality type.
Well, we always wanted more as far as like, hey, we could take instead of you renting a booth, let's go get you a salon. So we remodeled 2 different buildings and had 2 different salons. And then, one thing led to another, and the landscaping turned into tree work, and tree work turned into hardscapes and all
So
of
that's
that.
the next question actually is, why did you want to become a house builder?
Honestly, I wanted to become a house builder because around the year 2016, I was full-fledged, wide open landscaping, tree work, grading, all that kind of stuff. My body was wore out. My knees and my back were wore out from tree work day in and day out. Tree work is very hard work. We built our personal house ourselves, the one here on the farm, and me and you did a lot of the interior trim out and stuff. And everybody that come by kept saying, "Hey, will you build this for me? Will you build that for me? Can you do this?" So between the body being wore out and
The conversations that
the
we had.
conversations
'Cause
nonstop,
we had conversations. That wasn't really like so much that you decided that. It was that we had multiple conversations on, okay,
Yeah.
we need like a life change here. And it really depended a lot on starting Willowbrook. That's when
Right.
Willowbrook started.
become a brand. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we bought this property, we started building this house. He contracted our personal house, as our first property, our first build,
right? Yeah.
in hopes to use it as a selling point for you to build houses for other people and
Yeah.
us draw those plans.
Well, we always had the vision of anybody that we talked to, we wanted to make their dreams and their ideas come true. There's only so much you can do with that in landscaping and stuff.
Street work. Yeah.
And at the time, you were kind of transitioning out of hair after our 3rd child. So whenever the contract and stuff kind of brought you back into your design aspect, and then me, little change of pace of life to start building houses for people. So we got my contractor's license and we started that. And then, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of brought
It
us
just
to where
kind
we
of
are now. Yeah.
evolved into everything. And since it's been how many years since we built this house,
We moved in March of 2017.
and now it's 2025.
2024. So it's,
So-
2025.
yeah,
You're right.
it's
So it's
25.
running up on
8 years?
no, 9 years,
9? No.
8 years.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
5
like
plus
8.
3 is
8
8, yeah.
in March,
That's right,
actually.
yeah.
Since we moved in, and we started right before that. So it'll be 9 years for Willowbrook
Right.
Builders.
It will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
We established, I think, in early 2017.
Yeah. Yeah. So next question. I think this is a good one, and I think this is something that has been the last 2 years even. I'll ask the question first, then you know what I'm talking about. So it says, we pray together with our kids, but how can we begin praying over one another and not be embarrassed? So I think for me, this has been something that's kind of, always prayed with our kids. We've always prayed over the blessing. We've always, like, if we did a devotion, whatever, pray at that. But like intentionally praying over each other has entered our relationship within the last year, 2
Yeah,
years,
2 years
2
probably,
years.
yes.
Yeah. And it is awkward in the beginning when you are like, to ask for it even.
It is.
But how do you
So
feel
what
about that?
really hit home with me, yes, it is awkward. We've always had our personal walks with God kind of separate, but then when we started bringing that together, we've always went to church. We've always shared the Lord with the kids. But this past year, when we had that haze over us right before your event,
Yeah.
and you come to me and were like, "Hey, listen, we got to get rid of the devil. The devil's trying to do something.
Yeah.
And when we sat down and I prayed over you, that was kind of the turning point of like the Lord was saying like, hey, look, this is what I can do through you. So trust me.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think just like overcoming that for the first time, it's only awkward the first couple times, maybe.
Yeah,
I think
it
just like,
is.
but when you see the result of that,
Right.
then it makes it worth overcoming the awkwardness. So, like, in that moment, I was like, really felt this sense of depression for the first time ever. And it made no sense because I was kind of peaking at the top of like my ladder career as far as social media. We had a big event planned here. It was like our second Willowbrook family night
Right.
with the concert and all the things. And so we were coming up to that and I was preparing to speak at that. I was speaking at events and it just didn't make any sense. But I was like, I don't know why, but I just feel so like almost like oppressed, just like this
Hmm.
weighted, burdened down feeling. I was walking my property, even in the greenhouse, like, because it's usually like where I like to come and pray and just praying that over myself. And it wasn't beneficial. Like it wasn't working like it usually has.
Right.
And so I was like, I don't know really what else to do, but I actually spoke about this in my podcast on the last season because it seems like those people in the world who are constantly lifting up others
Top of the world.
are the ones that struggle the most inwardly.
Oh
Like they
yeah.
have the hardest battle with the things that they help other people with. And so then I started to realize, like, okay, like this is starting to affect me. It's like I'm taking on other people's problems and I'm praying for them, but I don't know how to fix myself when I start to feel that over myself. So I came to you and I was like, I need you to pray over me. And in that prayer, I just remember just feeling so lighthearted, just so well, like so fixed. It was like medicine. I don't know. And then
Right.
expressed that to you and was like, you have to keep doing that because I felt so much healing in that. So I think that it is awkward and there's no way to make it not awkward
Until you do
until you do it. But then
it.
you see the result of it of like
Right.
praying in full faith. I just had this conversation actually with someone else with a friend of mine that was talking about struggles that she has with her husband. And she was like, I want all this stuff for my husband. Oh, there's Hank. Hank is growing. Um, but she was like, I have all these issues with my husband, and I don't know how to. He's not. He's Christian as well, but he's not open to receiving this. And I'm like, you need to just literally be like, hey, I'm gonna pray for you,
Right.
and just start praying. Lay hands on him and pray all the things that you want instead of yelling those things at him. Instead of like instructing him. Like if we shift our way, this was just recently. If we start shifting our ways of how we do things, it starts shifting our mindset and our, motives,
Right.
Like,
Hmm.
is our motives to hurt them? I mean, we've been through this too. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
is our motive when we ask, like, when we fuss at each other, is our motives to hurt each other, or is it to get that end result? And if we're pointing each other to Christ, then it's totally different, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Hundred
when you
percent.
pray, it's kind of like you're more acknowledging what your words are using. You're asking Jesus to heal the situation instead of just fussing about whatever's getting on each
Well,
other's
you're
nerves.
asking Jesus to come into the situation and help you, decipher which way to go, what to say, and stuff like that. And when you have another person or another spirit in you,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Just like that.
and it gets easier too. Like, I've never mind praying in public and stuff, but when you start being able to pray over other people or other men on the job site and for other friends, and if the friends won't accept you, we went through this whole thing, what, I think right about the same time of feeling
Yeah.
rejection and stuff like that from friends, but you just have to eliminate some of those people from your life
And be okay with that.
and be okay with that. And
Yeah.
then and in turn, God will take care of you and bless your
Yeah.
life even more with
He
newer
feels
and better friends.
he fills that void.
He does.
Yeah. And I think that's the other thing is just realizing that when we focus on him and we tell him the desires of our heart,
Right.
ultimately he directs our heart towards him and what his outcome is.
Right.
And so then we're more okay with it.
Right.
So it's not so much that we pray for like couple friendships or we pray for um each other to be perfect, but it is that if that's not God's will for you to be perfect or me to be perfect, or it's not God's will for those friendships to come in or this outcome to come right now, whatever it is that we're praying for, when our hearts are aligned with God's, we're okay with his timing. And that
Right.
answer for that day might be it's not time. Makes sense?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so another question is, I hope y'all can hear us because we have Hank. Hank is really wanting in on the conversation today. Um, Brenton, are you introverted and or extrovert? And for me as well. So I would say that I'm obviously extroverted. I think everybody would say that meets me because I really don't have a problem like just like the other day we were filming and every y'all and my assistant and stuff were making fun of me because the guy that's, like, hooking me up had, like, shaky hands, and I'm like, "Did you drink too much coffee this evening?" Yeah, he's like, "What? What?" And I'm like, "Did your hands are jittery." Like, I do that if I had too much coffee and started to have this whole conversation, and he's, like, talking about it. But they're like, "What? Why would you even ask him that?" I'm like, "I don't know." I just think of
Yeah.
everybody as like, "Hey, you're my brother, you're my sister, whatever, we can talk about anything." So, I'll definitely say I'm an extrovert, obviously. And then you, what would you say?
I would say I'm probably a mix. If I'm around, I guess, a group of people that I don't know, I'm going to be a introvert for a while. And then if I find meet somebody, common interests and stuff,
Then you could, like, spark up
I can
conversation.
spark up conversation. Or if we're at a wedding or birthday party or whatever, and there's mutual friends there, then it breaks the ice and makes it better.
Yeah.
But if it's on a job site and I'm in control of the job site or I'm running that job site and I have subs working for me, I have no problem explaining the situation and talking to people I don't know. So I guess it's a
Yeah, I'd say if you're in an environment that suits your personality type,
right,
you're definitely extrovert because
right,
you could go right to the job, talk to anybody, it doesn't matter, you don't get nervous.
right.
But if I take you somewhere, like, I don't know, revival or something like that, and you're forced to like, hey, I'm constantly introducing you to people, you might be like, okay, like, like,
How
I
are
don't know
you?
anyone here. Yeah, and so it
Right,
makes it hard. But if we went to a contractors convention,
yeah,
you would be totally extrovert.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Because you're
Yeah,
like, you
because
know that you have common
I know
grounds.
the industry. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly
you know
right.
that
Yeah,
you're like, okay, yeah, you look super manly. I can
yeah.
talk about axes and drills,
Chopping wood.
chopping wood, putting wood together.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. What would be your favorite conversation to have, I think? What, like, really, you're just like, oh, I love talking about this so much.
No, I would like to know their vision of where they started, where they come, how they got to where they are now, and any advice they would give to, a newcomer or that kind of thing. I kind of want to
Yeah.
know the backside of people. Like, how do you handle all the day in and day out stuff that is not seen from building a house?
Yeah. Not just construction talk, but
Not
like
just
common
construction.
ground
Like
of
common
things that we
ground,
deal with behind the scenes.
right? Life behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yeah. What would be your favorite conversation to have in general? Like, not with anybody in particular, just, like, something you really love talking about.
I love talking about vacation, going on vacation. I love to talk about camping. I love to talk about farming.
Yeah.
We put a one here on the farm with some stuff, animals. I don't know. I mean, I
Yeah.
love talking about work too.
Yeah. Oh, I know
So,
you love talking about work. I know you do.
well,
It's
it's. I
like
mean,
you and daddy.
it's a passion. Yeah,
Yeah, you and
yeah.
daddy like getting together because you love swapping job talk.
Right, we do. Yeah,
Yeah.
tool talk.
Tool talk.
Tool talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be episode 4.
A tool talk?
Just
Your
kidding.
favorite tool
I'm
in the
just kidding.
trailer?
Yeah,
What would your favorite tool be
I don't know.
in the trailer?
We just love DeWalt.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but like the actual tool, like mine would be
I
the
like
drill
my
because I
track hoe.
use
I like a piece of machinery.
okay, track hoe does not fit in your trailer. Tool in your
Chainsaw,
hand.
chainsaw.
Chainsaw?
Yeah,
That goes back to your tree
it
work.
is. But
Do
I
you even
mean,
love being a contractor?
I do love being a contractor. Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
like a drill because it puts together all my like
Right.
furniture, you know?
True. I guess I don't have a favorite tool. All of them are good.
The chainsaw. So,
Chainsaw. Yeah.
what do you wanna saw? I see a lot of trees around here.
Yeah.
And I don't really let you saw them, so that's probably
Not
why.
a lot. Yeah.
Because you did that probably is very accurate actually. Like when you cut all my bushes down, you were really excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Thought
were
I was
more
doing good.
excited about how much you got to use the whatever you used to chop them all down, right?
Right.
You're like, that was so fun.
Like, man, she's gonna be so proud, and you pull in the driveway, and I'm like, oh boy,
And I
this
was
ain't
like
gonna
crying.
be.
We're
They'll
like
grow back.
newly
Yeah.
married and Brenton decides to trim the bushes.
Yeah. I took a
I
nine.
was excited that they had all grown in nice and full. They looked really big. And they came home to stubs.
Yeah.
They were tiny and chopped up with like barely any leaves. And he was like, so good. I did the landscaping, and I'm like, where are my bushes? It was just not a good
Yeah,
day. I was like
it
so
happens.
devastated. Okay, so another question is, were you raised in church?
I was always raised in church. My daddy is a pianist and organist, so he always played the organ at a church I attended till actually I met you.
Yeah.
And he also always unlocked the building and locked the building, so we were always the first ones there,
So
the
both
last
of
ones
us
there.
were the unlockers and the lockers
Right,
of the church.
exactly.
Toilet cleaners.
Yep.
Did you clean
Anything to be
toilets?
fixed. No, we didn't do too much of the. I mean, any event that was set up in the fellowship hall or rec hall, whatever you want to call it, we set every event up. I guess he was the fellowship committee. He was the any work day that was there. We were there, and we were there basically any time anything was going on with the job.
Yeah. That's
I mean, at the
how we were.
church.
Yeah.
Sorry,
With the
we had a
church
job
size.
at the church anytime the doors were open, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mom was like casserole lady too.
Oh, she did some baking.
Mine too. Yeah. Yeah, same. So we both like mine was the pastor, not of the same church, completely
No,
different
yeah.
towns. We didn't know each other. We did not grow up knowing each other at all. But mine was pastor's life and yours was the pianist life. Unlocked. We always unlocked. We always locked. We were there anytime the doors needed to be opened. Always. But I actually had to clean the toilets a lot.
We didn't do that.
Spoiled.
Spoiled rotten.
Spoiled rotten, just laying on the pew. Did you put chewing gum under the pew
I
at
did
all?
not. I knew better. I
Never.
knew when I got the look. Nope. Yeah, I didn't like the look because the look meant it wasn't going to be good after a while.
Okay. Did
I
you
got
ever
the
fart
look.
really loud in church?
Nope, never farted in church. I always get thumped in the head if I did anything wrong, which I always said.
Of course you didn't
Yeah,
fart in church.
yeah.
Was your pews padded or wood?
They were padded on the bottom and wood on the back. So it kind of muffled that, I guess, if you squeaked one
I
out,
think you did probably squeak one out.
Probably did, knowing
I
me.
told you what happened to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like 8. Wood, top and bottom. And I sneezed and farted. The whole church looked at me. And I turned around and I'm like, hopefully no one saw it. Everyone stared at me. I wanted to do like, on the Grinch, whenever the Grinch is like, he does that like thing where he like slithers through.
Right, yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to literally like melt in the floor and somehow slither all the way to the back of church and
Go
out the back
under
door.
the
Like
door.
no one
Nobody
can
ever
notice
see.
me.
Yeah.
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 But I did not
It's
have to
kind
do
of
that.
funny, though.
People actually came up to me. Well, now it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But then it was like
Living
devastating. I mean,
in
my
the moment,
8-year-old
yeah.
self, I was like mortified. I was just
What
like,
in
oh
the
my gosh.
world?
And of course, people would come up to me after church and say, oh, we barely heard it. Well, if you heard it enough to come and tell
Yeah.
me,
I
everyone heard
sat
it. It was
14
so
pews back,
loud.
but I heard
So then
it.
it was like also the joke of the family for till I got married, probably. They'd just be like, a chew today. I'm like a chew fart. Everything.
They're going to remind you till you move out.
Forever.
Forever,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was just like,
That's a memory I don't
God.
want to have, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, one time ever. Okay. So, how long have we been married?
We've been married since 2007.
17 years.
17 years, yes.
Yeah, this year
This year
in
will be
September
18.
will be 18
18, yeah.
years. Yeah,
September the
so
29th, yeah.
a long time. Yeah, so we've been together for 20 this year.
Yeah.
In May?
We
No,
started
19.
19. We started dating Memorial
got
Day
married.
of 2006.
Yeah, we got married pretty quickly after
We did.
dating. Well, like a year and a half, but we got engaged.
We got engaged
6 months after.
Yeah, well, it was after Christmas so I guess it was early in 07 we got married and we got engaged. Yes, early 07 and we got married 9 months later. What month did we get?
Did we?
What month
No,
did we get
got
engaged in?
engaged. Yeah, because we got engaged in March.
Yeah, I remember
And then
telling
we
my
got married
mama.
in September. It wasn't 9 months.
No, it was 6 months.
7, yeah, 6 or
6
7,
months,
because
yeah.
we only planned it in 6
That's right.
months.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pull off though.
Okay, so I'm gonna do one more question for today.
Okay.
What is your favorite room of the house?
My favorite room of the house would probably be the dining room.
The one, yeah, we
Because
just redid that.
We just redid it, but you fixed some delicious meals.
Oh,
But there's a lot of good conversation that goes on in there too, either over the dinner table or if the kids are doing school and we sit down and talk, or if you and I look at a set of plans or we have visions and stuff, that would be one of my best favorite rooms. The other one is not really a room; it's actually the glider that's on our front porch. Where in the spring, summer, and fall we go out and have coffee in the mornings, and
Oh
if
yeah,
the
that
kids
is your
join
favorite
us,
thing. Yeah.
that is my favorite thing to do. I look forward to that all year long.
Yeah.
But when we
Yeah,
built,
I would definitely say, yeah, dining room for sure.
right,
I think of everything aesthetically. Of course, you think of everything as like,
eating,
well, I was even going to say food, but you were like, the conversation and stuff. I was
yeah,
thinking of like, oh, which room do I love like looking at? But it is like, it
yeah,
is the dining room. But I definitely would say the glider for you for
all the front
sure.
porch is my favorite.
Anytime
Yeah,
you're missing spring, summer, fall, that's where we know
yeah,
to look. There or like the tractor if you're doing hay.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
but definitely that glider.
Now, when we built this greenhouse, I put a wood stove in here, and I had the envision of building a fire and sitting in here and watching it snow. But we don't get snow.
We don't get snow, and the pipe is not
and
hooked up.
we'll never finish the wood stove. So
And all my
yeah.
plants are dead. I've
And the
got
problem
a
we've
few
got
things in here for today,
kids,
but
and kids need things, breakfast, stuff like that.
they need a
So,
lot to live. And all these animals need a lot to live too.
constantly. Yeah. Like
Contractor Jarrett.
Tractor Jarrett. That's what I'm here for.
Contractor.
Oh, contractor.
I said Contractor Jarrett.
I'm sorry. I thought you said
Thank
Tractor
you
Jarrett.
so
You're
much
welcome.
for this conversation today.
It's been fun. It's been real. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. Yeah.
For being my first guest on the podcast.
It was fun. It was a good time.
Good Q&A session.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
doing random questions that I have no idea what you're
They're
fixing to
coming.
ask
You
me.
actually, you did really good.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I try. Yeah.
You did. Putting you on the spot.
But when you're honest and when you love someone that you live with and you're married to, then
Makes it
nothing.
easier.
It does make it a lot easier.
Yeah. So you'll be back.
I'll be back
be
anytime you
back.
ask me. Yeah.
All right. So if we did a number 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, of Contractor Jarrett in the greenhouse with me, what would you like our subject to be next time? We'll do another Q&A.
Yeah, Q&As are good.
But next time we might do a theme. What theme should we do? Maybe we should talk about the spec house build.
yeah, we could talk about that or talk about how we're kind of trying to transition now as a company. Or we could just talk about, life in general between you and
like
I.
what's going on.
Right, yeah.
Maybe do a little Devo.
Yeah, a little Devo. Yeah, we could do that.
Little Devo.
A little Devo, a little life in general, a little, hey, life with Brenton and Torrie.
Yeah, we also talked about doing some behind the scenes on Reels too.
Yeah, we could do that.
On Instagram or on the YouTube channel.
We could do a YouTube
So maybe
channel.
we'll just take it to a vote when we end today and just go let us know on Instagram or the YouTube channel and tell us what do you want to see more of so we can crank that out.
Yeah, we could. That was fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, love you so much, honeymoon.
Love you
Love
too.
Give me a hand hug. Love you a lot.
Love you.
So that's all today for Chats in the Greenhouse. We love you guys. I love you guys.
Love you guys. Thank you for allowing for me to be here.
Yeah. Thanks to my hubby Bub for being in the greenhouse today. And we will be seeing a lot more of him. And I have a cold today, so thanks for bearing with me. So I've got to get off here and blow my nose. Love you guys.